The night I stayed in the abandoned house. So this happened about 2 years ago. My friend Mike and I were in this phase where we were all about exploring abandoned places. Most of the time it was just old factories or crumbling buildings that had been empty for decades. We thought it was cool and never really got spooked until we found this house. We had heard rumors about this place from some locals in a small town we were passing through. They called it the Johnson House, and apparently it had been abandoned since the 80s after some horrible family tragedy. The details were fuzzy. One story said the dad went nuts and killed everyone. Another said the mom just vanished and no one ever found her. But we brushed it off. It was probably just some small-town ghost story meant to keep kids away from the property. Of course, Mike, being the thrill-seeker, was like, we have to check it out. I wasn't as gung-ho about it, but I wasn't going to back out either. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? So, we found the house after some searching. It was this big old Victorian-style place, half overgrown with weeds. The paint was peeling, windows were either boarded up or smashed out, and there was this eerie silence around it, like the woods around the place just swallowed all sound. Not even the birds were chirping. That should have been a red flag, but we were too dumb to notice. We decided to go inside at dusk, because apparently we thought making it extra creepy was a good idea. The front door was already cracked open, and when we pushed it, the creaking sound it made was straight out of a horror movie. The inside was just as you'd expect. Dusty, dark, and filled with junk left behind by whoever used to live there. It felt like the people just disappeared. There were still some old newspapers on the coffee table, shoes by the front door, even a half-empty box of cereal on the counter, covered in dust. We started walking through the house, and it wasn't long before things started feeling off. I don't know how to describe it. You know when you walk into a room and you can feel someone watching you, but there's no one there? It was like that, but everywhere. Mike kept joking around, trying to lighten the mood, but I could tell he was feeling it too. We made our way upstairs, and that's when things really started getting weird. The air was heavier up there, like it was harder to breathe. And it smelled strange, like mildew and something rotten but faint, just enough to make you uncomfortable. There were 3 bedrooms. The first 2 were empty, but the last one had this old wooden rocking chair sitting in the middle of the room, facing the window. And on the chair was this dusty, threadbare doll. Now, I'm not afraid of dolls, all right? But this one, there was something wrong about it. Its eyes were just these black, empty pits, and its mouth was this weird too big smile. Mike picked it up, trying to freak me out, and I told him to knock it off. We both laughed it off and kept exploring, but I could feel the hair on the back of my neck standing up. That doll, I swear its smile looked different when Mike put it back down, like it was bigger, but I brushed it off. After poking around a little more, we decided we'd seen enough and headed back downstairs. That's when we heard it, a creak from upstairs. We froze. Mike whispered, "Did you hear that?" I nodded. It was definitely footsteps. We hadn't heard anyone come in, and we were sure no one else was in the house, but those footsteps were unmistakable, slow and deliberate, like someone or something was walking across the floor above us. I don't know what possessed us to stay, but we decided to check it out. We grabbed our phones, turned on the flashlights, and tiptoed back upstairs. As soon as we reached the top step, the air felt colder, and we could see our breath, like the temperature had dropped 20 degrees in seconds. We turned toward the room with the rocking chair, and the door, which we'd left open, was now shut. Mike, being braver or stupider than me, pushed the door open. The room looked the same, but the chair? It was rocking, back and forth, slow and steady, like someone had just gotten up. And that doll? It was no longer on the chair. It was sitting on the floor, staring straight at us. I swear to you, we both froze, just staring at it. Then, suddenly, the chair stopped moving. That's when I heard a whisper, like it was right behind me, saying my name. Just my name. I whipped around, but no one was there. I looked at Mike, and I could see in his eyes he was as freaked out as I was. We didn't say a word. We just turned and bolted down the stairs and out the front door, as fast as we could. We didn't stop running until we reached the car. Neither of us talked on the drive back. When we finally did, Mike admitted he heard the whisper too, but it wasn't my name he heard. It was his. I haven't been back to that house since, And honestly, I don't plan on it. Sometimes, though, when I'm alone at night, I'll think I hear that whisper again. Just faint, but unmistakable, and it says my name.